remember Labor Day last year in Oregon? It wasn't so much end of summer fun as it was ominous anxiety over the threatening glow and ash of a terrifying wildfire season. It was the day that those historic east winds started whipping through and spreading fire all across the state. You probably remember how fast it all happened, right? Here's a look at some of the coverage from last Labor Day and the days after.
Dangerous conditions across the area. It is hot, it's dry, and historic winds are expected to pick up soon.
Whether it be PGE, local fire agencies, businesses, residents, everyone is paying close attention to the weather forecast. Yeah, it is hot, it is dry, and as you can clearly see, it is windy. Those winds really started picking up just about a half hour ago, and they keep on getting stronger.
We only see this setup, this particular situation where we're getting really strong east winds while it's hot like this, still summer, early September, maybe 2-3 times a century, Dan. That's why it's historic.
People across the state of Oregon forced to flee as fire moves in. The high winds and heat making for a dangerous combination.
And this afternoon, there are fires prompting evacuations in Washington, Marion, and Lane counties. Those fires are producing a lot of smoke. We're hearing from many of you saying the sky is red and you have noticed all that smoke in the air.
This is downtown Staten at noon, but you wouldn't know it if you didn't have a clock. It was dark, the sky a red hue, and the place a ghost town. That's because people were getting ready to leave or had already left after evacuation orders were issued Monday night.
We expect to see a great deal of loss as a result of these fires, both in terms of structures and in terms of human lives.
And lives, as you know, were lost. Maybe, I don't know if you're like me when you were watching that. As I'm watching that video, sometimes it felt like, wow, that was yesterday. And sometimes it felt like, man, that was forever ago. But it was a year ago. It was a year ago today, really. And a lot has happened since then. Survivors have tried to rebuild their lives. Today, dozens of people, they gathered in one of the harder hit areas, the Santiam Canyon, to mark this 1 year since those devastating fires.
We wanted to have a formal mark on this day to give people the opportunity to come together as a community to collectively process those feelings and emotions.
And a lot still to process. Christine Pitawanich was at that event today, and she's been following the recovery in the Santiam Canyon since the beginning. So let's talk to Christine about it for just a moment. Christine, give us an idea, give us some context for the people who don't make it down into that area, what it looks like when a community is rebuilding after fires that are this devastating.
You know, as a reporter, I was here when the fires were happening. I saw the red sky. I'd never seen anything like that before. That was a year ago, but then today, driving up here, sky was blue. When I got closer to Idana, so up further along Highway 22, there was a little bit of smoke in the air because of a nearby fire that fire officials say they're not too worried about. But, I mean, it's just what a stark difference, right? In just the atmosphere. No smoke, really. The sky is just a normal color. I will say that, driving up, you see people in all stages of rebuilding. I mean, there are people who have yet to clear out debris on their property, so you still see charred remains of cars or buildings. Then there are those people who have started to rebuild, they're in the process, and then there are those people who are fortunate enough to have most of their homes rebuilt. So a lot of different stages going on, but still a lot of recovery.
What should most people watching your pieces and trying to understand what these communities have gone through and are going through, what should they be paying attention to when it comes to the needs of that community?
I mean, I think that there are needs all over the state, right? Because thousands of homes burned. I mean, Santiam Canyon, Southern Oregon, close to the coast. I would say a lot of need still has yet to be met in terms of affordable housing. I know that in Southern Oregon, I spoke with a family still living out of a travel trailer, small one, because they still can't find affordable housing. And at least in Southern Oregon, that was an issue prior to the fire, but then much exacerbated after the fact. And here, the same thing. There wasn't a whole lot of housing up here in the Santiam Canyon. And then what housing there was, a lot of it did burn. And so now people are stuck either still in hotels. I just spoke to a single mom just the other day, still living in a hotel. She used to live in the Santiam Canyon, or just trying to figure out a sustainable way to come back to their community. People are still spread out.
Absolutely. Wow. Still in a hotel a year later. Remarkable. Thank you. I appreciate the report, Christine.